everybody, and welcome in to Before the Sandstorm here on Gamecock Central. Happy Saturday to all of you. It's Jack Veltri and Kendall Smith joining you here, and Jack is ready to roll today. Alabama coming to Columbia to take on the Gamecocks. 3:30 kickoff on ABC. Of course, the game at Williams-Brice Stadium. And Jack, vibe check right off the top. How are you feeling ahead of today's game? I don't think anyone's really expecting a South Carolina win, but maybe keep it competitive.
That would be ideal. That would be great, Kendall, if they kept this game close, cover the spread, show you signs that they're making progress, because there hasn't been much over the last few weeks after beating Kentucky. I think Carolina's made some mistakes, and you got to kind of hope for the best today, right? You can expect, maybe a miracle, but I think that's what it would take to beat this Alabama team, just because they're playing their best football right now.
Yeah, so when you talk about it being a miracle if South Carolina wins this game, what are the factors? Obviously, we're going to talk about the offense. We're going to say, yeah, the offense has to basically get it together today and show why we thought at the beginning of the season this would be a really effective offense. We haven't seen that so far throughout the year. We haven't really seen a level of consistency. So, of course, there's that piece to it. If you're going to beat Alabama, you have to have consistent offense that comes to play and that's performing. But it's also a lot of other factors as well. So to pull off what would be a massive upset, everything has to click in all three phases. And what does that look like for South Carolina, Jack?
It's continuing to just limit the mistakes. That's the one thing that I think South Carolina did a pretty good job of last weekend against Oklahoma, where they didn't have a penalty until the second half and only had 4 in the entire game. So that's step one, I think, but also not shooting yourself in the foot with the on-field stuff. Like, make the plays when they need to be made, right? Like, make your tackles, get the first downs. South Carolina, if they want to have a chance today, especially offensively, they can't be getting into third and long situations. They got to do well on first and second down. And that might mean don't run the ball up the middle on first and second down. Maybe when we say try something different, you don't have to change the entire playbook. But I think it's more so something you would call here, like a run up the middle, like I said. Maybe just throw it on first down instead. Something just to get into a rhythm, right? Because I think that's what South Carolina is going to need today from the jump in this game. Like, that first drive of the game today for South Carolina, whether it's Alabama starting out with the ball or South Carolina gets the ball second or first, whatever, they gotta go down and score. That, I think, is going to be huge in this game, because it sets some sort of tone that, like, okay, this offense can do something, and that's what you would hope to see today. And then defensively, the defense is probably the least of your problems, but they're facing a really good offense today. I think the best offense they've played so far this season. So can you contain this really dynamic passing attack for Alabama? Can you force them into some run situations, which is not necessarily their strong suit? That's going to be the trick today.
Yeah, I agree. I think South Carolina, we always say it needs to start fast, but in my mind, I view it as score and stop, right? Or stop and score, whatever order it goes in, whether South Carolina gets the ball first or not. You got to score and you got to get a stop. And you really need to establish dominance and start with some momentum in this game. Now, we've seen South Carolina maybe not be able to carry momentum that they've established at the beginning of the game. So I think that that's key as well. Like, once you get it, you have to keep it going. And again, it's just, I don't think this season we've really seen them play 4 complete quarters of football without crazy mistakes. They had a good game against Kentucky. I'll give it to them. But there have been other, even the top of the season when they took on Virginia Tech, there were moments in that game, first game of the year, and we all were kind of like, oh, okay, we're not seeing the consistency yet because it's early on in the season. But I really don't think, and let me know if you agree, Jack, I feel like I haven't seen like 4 complete quarters of football from South Carolina in a game this year.
Maybe the Kentucky game, but let's just scratch that game out because it's kind of irrelevant at this point. It's Kentucky. That was so long ago, and you're playing the worst team in the SEC. Congratulations. Everyone's beaten them, besides Texas, pretty handedly this season. I think for South Carolina, they have not played a complete game, but they're going to need one today. And it's not even just the fact that South Carolina could play perfect in this game, but it doesn't matter unless you get Alabama to kind of play down to your level a little bit, right? Like make some mistakes in this game that they otherwise haven't made yet this season. And look, the difference between winning and losing this game is massive. We got Garnet Yardbird with the comment here. Like this is like South Carolina is at a crossroads. If they lose, I mean, it kind of goes along the same lines of like you're probably going 4-8 this year with one win over Coastal the rest of the way, and you have two really tough top 10 road games coming up. I mean, South Carolina's done itself no favors losing some of the games that it has, but the schedule has just been brutal ever since Vanderbilt, and that's a fact. But Carolina's been in some of these games, and they haven't been able to have that complete performance, Kendall, that is hindering them right now. And it's got them at a spot where you win this game, all right, bowl game is definitely on the table. A top 10 upset, that changes your entire season, hopefully. Maybe not college football playoff, but maybe you can get to 8-4 somehow, even with those top 10 games ahead of you. God. It's just, I mean.
I like the positivity.
But it would change a lot of things. It makes it a lot more plausible for South Carolina to go out there, because if they can beat Alabama, the best team in the SEC right now, I get it's at home, but it's not like Ole Miss is the toughest road environment in the SEC, right? A&M's a different story, but I just think South Carolina's got to find some magic today. I don't know what that's going to look like, but a lot of things have to go their way.
Well, the magic has to start with stopping Ty Simpson, who has just been on an upward trajectory for Alabama since the beginning of the season. Alabama had its struggles at the beginning of the year, but you have to give them credit where credit is due in the fact that they have really taken off over these last few weeks. And you hope kind of, if you're South Carolina, and we talked about this earlier in the week on GC Live, Jack, you hope that maybe this is a game that Alabama is overlooking in a sense, right? Like, I think that has to be the mindset of Alabama says, okay, we're going on the road to South Carolina. They haven't had a really good year. They're struggling. This should be an easy win. And they're looking ahead because their next 2 weeks are, well, they have a bye next week, I believe. And then they have LSU at home and Alabama or Oklahoma at home. So they have two tough opponents that they're welcoming and they're going to have at home, but it's still one of those things where those are ranked opponents. Maybe you're overlooking it. You've got the bye next week. You can kind of see that light at the end of the tunnel, a little break coming up. So I think if you're South Carolina, you hope, okay, maybe they're overlooking this a little bit, maybe not taking us as seriously as they should. And that kind of gives you that opportunity to take this game and kind of run with it. So that's the big thing. But we mentioned Ty Simpson and just how good he has been. That magic has to start with stopping him too. Not only does South Carolina's offense have to get going, defense has got to stop Ty Simpson. This really prolific offense for Alabama. So how can they do that, Jack, defensively?
Well, typically you hear Shane Beamer or just any coach out there, they typically say it starts with stopping the run. Now, Alabama does have Jam Miller, pretty good running back, who did not do much against Tennessee. Alabama's run game has not been their biggest strength this year. So I think you want to kind of take that away. But at the same time, Alabama's beaten teams so many times with this dynamic passing attack. And it's led by Ty Simpson, like you said, Kendall, who I think is the Heisman Trophy frontrunner right now. And then you have Ryan Williams on the outside, who's not even their leading receiver, by the way. He's the name that always gets talked about. But everyone kind of forgets Jeremy Bernard is the leading receiver for this team. So they have good weapons on the outside. So that's what makes it tricky is I think that's where Alabama can definitely beat you today is getting the ball in the air, going one-on-one against the secondary and coverage. And if they win enough of those plays, they're going to be able to score a lot of points in this game. If it were me, I know you come out here trying to stop the run, but make sure you make it a priority of like, hey, we, more than anything, probably need to stop this passing attack because I would feel a lot better about if Alabama can't do anything through the air, they got to rely on the run game. One, I think that's a battle South Carolina can win.
Jack, you talked about wanting South Carolina to maybe switch things up a little bit, like play calling wise offensively, and just do things a little bit different. So you don't want to see a run up the middle for the first play call of the game when South Carolina takes the field. So what do you want to see then? Let's get real specific with this.
I want to see fireworks, Kendall. I want to see this team. I don't want to say they got nothing to lose because trust me, they have a lot to lose if they lose this game. But I want them to kind of come out playing like they got nothing to lose. Like throw all your chips on the table and let's go out there and put points on the board. That's the mentality I think they need to have today. Like they can't win this game with this stagnant offense stuff that they've been doing for the entire season. It's not working, right? We keep talking about like let's see Lenore's cut loose. We kind of seen it a little here and there. In the Kentucky game, we definitely saw it. Hopefully the blocking will be better up front today because you're getting pretty much every offensive lineman besides Case and Henry back. I mean, hopefully that will lead to some good things, but I want to see specifically like take some shots. I mean, you got Nick Harbor, you got Jerry Jacobs. Like, come out doing stuff that Alabama isn't isn't ready for, but also like not expecting you to come out there and like again, like they really. If you take away anything from this game, go out guns a-blazing today. Like, leave nothing on the table, no crumbs left. Like, go out there. Just go out there.
No crumbs,
like
as the Gen Zers say.
Yes, like go out there and just leave it all on the field. Like that's what I want to see today. Nothing that it's like making us question. Okay, well, why didn't you do this, and that when you probably could have? You know.
Yeah, I think that is exactly right, Jack. You're spot on because for South Carolina, this is not a game where you can play it safe, right? Like you're not going to beat a team like Alabama playing it safe. You have to throw stuff at them that they're not necessarily expecting. And if you look at South Carolina's offense so far this season, it's very predictable. So you need to go the unpredictable route here today. And I agree. Deep shots, like let's see some fireworks, like let's go. Explosive plays need to be the name of the game here today. I mean, not every single time, but you need to take the risk and gamble a little bit today on your guys, because I do believe that South Carolina is capable of executing it. It's just, are you going to let them have those opportunities? And guess what? If they don't do it on the first try, first one you call, if it doesn't work out, that doesn't mean that it needs to be the end of that. That doesn't mean that you stop there. Like, give them the chances, give them the opportunities to try, because I think that's the only way that you can beat a team like Alabama is not sticking with what has been pretty lackluster from the offense throughout the season so far. And we know Lenora Sellers is capable. So let him go. Let him do his thing. No restrictions on Lenora Sellers today. And again, we've heard there aren't any restrictions on Lenora Sellers, and he hasn't been told that, but it's just, we've talked about it. It's kind of a different vibe this year than it was last season. So we'll see how South Carolina does today. Hopefully they start to get things going a little bit more offensively, because I think the fan base is pretty much over it in terms of what they've seen this season from the offense. And that's been made pretty clear. So Jack, let's do our normal, because Jack has to get out here a little bit earlier than normal today. He has to head over to the field. Game is at 3:30. So let's kind of check in around college football and see what we think in terms of games here today. I was actually just watching College Game Day, and the guy who kicked the field goal, he made it. I don't know if you were watching this.
I was not.
$500,000. And by the way, like, this was an unbelievable kick. Unbelievable. Like, he needs to send his tape out, and that's what Kirk and Pat were saying. Like, send your tape out, because you could genuinely get picked up by college. But yeah, $500K and then $250,000 to charity. And this was a guy that was Vanderbilt. So
that's awesome.
It was pretty awesome. Okay, here we go. This week, let's start with the College Game Day game. Missouri at Vanderbilt. What do we think?
Got Vanderbilt in this one. I'm feeling the vibes, feeling the magic, Kendall. I think this has been a really fun season for the Doors so far. They had their one slip up against Bama, but it's Bama. Not everyone beats them. I don't know if South Carolina is going to be able to do that today. So you're at home. Missouri is such a dangerous team because I think everyone overlooks them. I think that's what we're seeing certainly today. But I think this Vanderbilt team is just very good at home. The vibes are good. I take Diego Pavia to win this game for them.
I agree. I've got Vanderbilt at home. It just always kind of seems like when the lights are on, Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt, they rise to the occasion for the most part. And so I expect the same here today, especially with such a big game and College Game Day being on campus in Nashville this morning. Okay, let's do a couple more. Ole Miss at Oklahoma. Let's just go across the SEC because there's a few really good ones today.
I'll take Ole Miss in this one. This is one where I think their backs are certainly up against the wall after losing a game that on the road to Georgia, you had a 9-point lead in the fourth quarter. You couldn't finish it. They need this one badly today. I know the whole Lane Kiffin to Florida thing is swirling out there, and apparently he is kind of addressed that with his team of the rumors and stuff.
I saw that and I was confused. Can we talk about this for a second?
Yeah.
I was confused. Like, I understand he addressed it with the team, but I didn't think it was anything he was like seriously entertaining. I mean, I know money obviously talks, and Florida's got a lot of money to spend, but so does Ole Miss. And I don't know. I read that tweet last night, and I was just like, I don't know.
If you're Ole Miss, you're hoping that doesn't affect the players, but I think they're going to go out here, respond today. They got a really good offense. I think they have a much better offense than Oklahoma right now. OU's defense is good, but I like Trinidad Chambliss. I like what they're doing out there in Oxford. So I think Ole Miss survives on the road and wins against Oklahoma.
I have Ole Miss as well. We're on the same page through our first two picks, which normally is not the case. Let's go Texas A&M at LSU. I think this is where we might go far. I don't know what you picked.
Yeah, I picked LSU to win this game.
Oh, me too.
I'm not a A&M believer. I'm not. I've just
wow.
When have they ever proven to you that they are capable of going an entire season without a slip up? I think it's going to happen tonight. Playing in Death Valley is tough. Night game. I think LSU's got their backs up against the wall. They need this game like incredibly badly. If they lose this weekend, I wonder what happens with Brian Kelly. That's where I'll leave it at that. But I think LSU gets the job done tonight.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Let's do our game today, the game you will be at. South Carolina, Alabama. I'll start. I do not have South Carolina winning this game. I'm sorry. I just couldn't do it. Like, I hope that they do. I hope that I am proven wrong, but I have Alabama winning 35-17. And that's just based on what I've seen. I haven't seen enough from South Carolina to make me believe they're going to beat the number 4 team in the country, especially number 4 team in the country that has not been stagnant. They've only, like I said, been going up and up and up week by week. Ty Simpson, you mentioned, Heisman front runner, just a really good team from top to bottom. And unfortunately, I just haven't seen enough out of South Carolina to make me think they can win this game. Now, do I think that South Carolina has talent? Yes, I still think South Carolina has talent. Do I think if everything comes together for South Carolina and they play a perfect game that they could win? Yes, I do think that they can win, but I am not predicting them to win today, Jack.
Neither am I. I don't see it. I don't see it. Like, it would be one thing if this were a defensive problem, and I'm not throwing shade on A&M. I call it like it is. Tell me a time where Texas A&M has proven to you that they are the real deal.
Jack is going to get clipped at the end of the season. Some Texas A&M fan, I'm surprised that hasn't happened to us with Vanderbilt yet at the beginning of the year, especially me, because I was just going off and off and off. I will stand corrected, okay? Vanderbilt is the real deal. But, Jack, you're going to get clipped on that if Texas A&M ends up showing that they are what they say they are, and just be aware. You'll be on a Texas.
We have a better chance of getting clipped today for the South Carolina game because we have seen this song and dance before. We've seen South Carolina have the worst game imaginable. 2022, 2024. We saw it. Florida, Ole Miss, South Carolina looks defeated, like nothing's going right. The offense has no answers. Everyone counts them out the following few days. Everyone's saying the season's over. Fire this guy, fire that guy. It's over. Shane doesn't know what he's doing. All these different things. And then 6 days later, South Carolina goes out there and seemingly pulling one out of left field, dominating, and looking like a completely different team. Is that going to be the case today? No, I don't see that being the case today because this team is not the 2022. The 2022 team, that was insane what happened that night against Tennessee. The Alabama game last year, Carolina lost, but they only lost by 2, right? So you see where I'm going with this. It's very much possible that Carolina can do something extraordinary today, but I don't trust this offense. I don't. Mike Shula and this play calling and everything that's gone wrong this season has not given me any reason to believe that South Carolina is going to be able to get the job done. And I'm picking Alabama to win in blowout fashion. I'm picking the Crimson Tide to win 42-13 today. I'm surprised. The spread feels like free money, Kendall. 12.5 points. I don't know if it's gone down, but Alabama's just a far better team than South Carolina. I know Crimson Tide fans are probably still a little bit worried about the fact that you got to go on the road. And you remember what happened last year with losing some of the games you did to unranked foes on the road. Well, that was last year. And this Alabama team has already gone on the road, beaten Georgia at night and beaten Missouri on the road. So I think Alabama gets it done today. It's hard to be optimistic right now. And you know it's bad when Kendall Smith, the queen of optimism here, dealing with Mr. Negative here, is picking South Carolina to lose. Not as bad, but still not good at all.
Well, I do have hope in the team. I will always have hope in the team because I have said since day one, if you look at this team on paper, it's a talented group of people. They just haven't been able to figure it out on the field. I do have hope in the team, but I have to be realistic. I can't just there are times when I'll pick South Carolina when maybe it's a toss up. I'm like, okay. But I genuinely can't for my own, I can't do it. I have to pick Alabama this week because that's just everyone is essentially probably going to pick Alabama. And again, I hope that I'm proven wrong. You're right, Jack. We have seen before South Carolina just have an absolutely defeating loss a week prior and then come back out and just crush it. And it comes when people don't expect it. So maybe that is today. It's at home. It's the last SEC home game of the season for South Carolina. And then, it doesn't get easier. We say this every single week, but you get Ole Miss, you get Texas A&M on the road. You come back home for Coastal, which should be a win, and Clemson, which really also should be a win if you consider all circumstances with Clemson this season. So if you want to make a bowl, you have to win one out of your next three. But even Clemson, I don't even want to get into that right now because nothing is guaranteed. Literally nothing is guaranteed. No. So that'll be a later conversation. But Jack has to go now. He has to head to Williams-Brice Stadium because he is covering today's game, which leads me into my reminder of heading over to GamecockCentral.com and checking out everything that he's got going on over there throughout today. He will certainly be busy. 3:30 game is the worst, okay? It's the worst game because it ruins your entire day. Well, not ruins, but it's your entire day.
I'll take a day game, though. I'll take a day game. This does not need to be at night. Trust me. It's not going to be pretty today.
Well, you heard it from Jack Veltri, everybody.
Hope I'm wrong.
Positive vibes on this Saturday morning. He is bringing the positive vibes through and through. And Jack will post a Gamecock video.
We got
that's always on our YouTube. Jack also does behind the scenes. Oh, by the way, everybody, smile, say hi. I'm vlogging my day in the life for TikTok, so I need
just a normal day.
Yeah, well, it's not really a normal day. Hi, we're live right now. It's not a normal day. I have a lot going on. We have hockey and I taught a class this morning and I have the podcast. So there's a lot. So there's Jack. There's everybody. Hey guys.
There I am. So.
Okay. So yeah, you're all going to be in my TikTok. So go check it out. But yeah, thanks everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Kendall Smith. He's Jack Veltri and we got more coming your way today. Today I'm feeling, maybe it's going to be magical.
Keep a little optimism. Let's see.
Yeah, even Jack is saying be optimistic.
Yeah.
Or go back 60 seconds ago and
find some joy, guys. Just forget everything I said for the last 23 minutes and take this out. Find some joy. And
on that note, we are out of here, everybody. Have a great game day, and we'll see you soon. This has been Before the Sandstorm here on Gamecock Central. Bye.